Far from you here. I th I thought I'd make a video uh doing a collection update and showing my star cards and what I personally think is the best loadouts for every class in the game. I'll start off with Assault. I'm not really so good with Assault. My star cards are Bounty Hunter for heroes, which I use this for every class. Improved Thermal Detonator, improved Scan Dart. Toughen Up's really good, Assault Training's really good. I would say the Killstreak Vanguards and all the others not really. I don't think it's really worth it. Ion Grenade's good. I use the A280 a lot. Mods, improved cooling, improved range. I don't really use this EL16 HFE. Sometimes I'll use the E11D. I really like this. It's only good for close range though. My mods. I go to the heavy. Heavy's one of those. I'm a max heavy. Heavy's one of those classes though. I'm not really sure what the best loadout is. If you're trying to get a hero, I think you should use defender, bounty hunter, maybe supercharged sentry or detonite charge. This is just what I use currently. I'm just trying to get a hero. T21, easily the most overpowered thing in the game. I don't know what to this day. I don't know why they added this. It just destroys heroes. It's not the best gun in the game. It suffers from really bad cooling. TL50 is easily the best. Just heavy weapon. Moving on to officer. A max officer is he's my most played class. I personally think the best loadout for officers, officer's presence, bounty hunter, and improved battle command. The issue with the recharge is if somebody's recharging you, like you're not gonna be able to get it back sometimes compared to the battle command. It just gets you extra points and you get health, especially in tense situations. Disruption's alright, but it doesn't work half the time. Diffuser's really good. The shields are good for Endor, like OBJ. Honestly, I think that's pretty solid for Officer. I'm not really a good specialist player, but I use this. Bounty Hunter, the personal shield for protection, and the hardened infiltration. Try to get heroes. It's a really good loadout. I don't think Repulsor's good. Repulsor cannon. I don't think the marksman cards matter. I don't really snipe in this game. I'm really bad at it. I only really use the A280 that with the burst mode. That's it. I don't use dual zoom. And then I use NT242 here and there. The Enforcer, it's kinda simple. I don't have many options. I use Enforcer training for the health elimination, expert weapons handling for you're able to keep your mill ability for longer, maximum health, battle hard, massive health increase. You just get more health. Way, yeah, that's way better. Moving on to the aerial. I'm not really a good aerial player, to be honest, but I use health elimination, survivalist, and battle hardened. Infiltrator, desperation, recharge time reduction, reduces the ability recharge times, and damages dealt to you. I don't even know what this. I don't know. I think Recharge time reduction. Yeah, I think that's good. Interrogation. This is not really good for the ARC Trooper though. Yeah, this wouldn't be good for the ARC Trooper. Health on elimination. That's always good. The armor, I don't really play it that much, but I am a high armor. I use the improved weapon systems for the middle ability. Maximum health, more health on the armor. And you got protected critical systems, damage reduction. The speeder bike, he's like the most toxic thing in the game. I I personally think the best loadout is the cooling systems, speeder offensive upgrade, and speeder systems upgrade. Artillery has no cards, so that's just my level. The fighter is easily one of the hardest fighters to use in terms of strafing. It's naturally not really that good. It's really good at damaging other fighters though. I use the fighter weapon systems for the increased middle ability damage. For like the X-wing, it's really good. The quad lasers. Uh, I use the advanced torpedo for the extra damage when you just chuck it. You don't ADS with it, and you gotta get the tuned lasers, which I use pretty much on all the fighters for the extra primary damage. Uh, the interceptor, it's pretty simple. Same thing, kinda, but it's different. You use elite pilot for the turn rate. It helps a lot. It doesn't increase the damage, but you be able to turn and strafe uh faster. Naturally, you could do a higher damage output. You don't really need I think it's this. Yeah, you don't need heat reduction for the interceptor. They're just too fast. By the time you turn around, you're gonna have your heat back. So I think you should use fire control cycler for the rate of fire increase. And then you gotta get the twin lasers on for the increased damage. You don't really need yeah, this is you don't really need this for the concussion missile. It's just a waste of a card. If you're gonna get a bunch of heavy mains, or I think you should use, yeah, tactical jammer. It makes it so like their ion torpedoes and rockets take forever to lock onto you. It's really good. I would take off elite pilot for tactical jammer. Yeah, the bomber is pretty self-explanatory. Uh, for longer strafe, the bomber is naturally slower, so I think you should always have the advanced capacitors on, the tuned lasers, and the advanced torpedo damage. With the bombers, you get two torpedoes with the maximum of if they both hit the target, they do 1200 damage, which each of them doing like 600. I would say there's not really a need for reinforced hull. It, I mean, you could use it. It's just a waste. I would take off capacitors. If you want to be faster, you should use engine upgrade. Take off capacitors. Just you always got to keep these two on, or maybe you could take off the proton damage, but you're just losing kills. Okay, moving on to the heroes, and this is a guide for what I think is the best star cards for everything in the game. Like, I wouldn't say there's a objectively best loadout in the game, but from long times of playing the game, I personally think, from my experiences, these are the best loadouts, and I'll explain why at every one. And I hope that if Jackson's watching this, I hope he can explain my assault loadout and why it's bad. I forgot to say, in the thing, I use the scan dart because the scan dart nets you more passive points per kill, like your teammate kills. But anyways, moving on to Boba Fett. I'm a max level Boba Fett. The best loadout for Boba Fett is easily his 2 jetpack cards that decreases his burn rate, and it increases his refuel rate. And his third card, I wouldn't really use Born to Fly because it halves his health regeneration, and it's gotten me killed a lot. It yeah, it has like a glitch where if you jump, it counts as you flying and you get recharge. When I play Boba Fett, I only really prioritize his blaster. His blaster is really good. His concussion missile is really solid. His rockets, they're alright. I don't really care for them though, that much. I would say you should use augmented gear because this card has saved me a lot on a lot of times on kill streaks. Especially if you don't have your the hunt ability and the middle ability. If you hit 3 people with this, you take no fuel consumption length for 4 seconds, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it is really really nice to have if you hit 3 people. Sometimes I do it by accident or like I'm just spamming it, which you should try to only really use it like a concussion missile if you really need it. Like on a heavy, it's really good for heavies disabling their sentry or disabling everybody like Wookiees. It's really good at disabling Chewie's middle ability Leia. It's good at disabling a lot of things in the game. So it's like his concussion missile is really powerful. He's easily, I think, the best blaster in the game if played correctly. Boss, I'm not really good with this lizard man, but I would say the best loadout for boss is name your poison for the health, because he can't. Because boss is only the only hero in the game that's unique where he can't get health on elimination. He passively heals to 600. So this is your only way to get health in the game. So you might as well use it. But you also are at the risk of losing your Dioxis grenade, which you could use offensively. And I would say, I would use trap arming speed because this sounds better on paper, but the mines coming back faster, like, will probably save you if you're being spam swinged by a saber hero and Galactic Assault, and just in general. Like maybe you could take off if you're playing HEV. I only play Galactic Assault, but if you're playing HEV, you could take this off and put on this, and you're just gonna become like, this is a really good loadout. And you're just gonna become like a really annoying boss that everybody hates. Chewbacca, I'm not really a good Chewbacca player, I would say, but I've gotten 200s with him. I think this is the best loadout. Bonus health, impervious, and echoing roar. Bonus health is kind of obvious because he only has 700 health and he's really squishy, even though he's meant to be a tanky. I feel without his middle ability, Chewbacca is really easily killed. Echoing roar is obvious. There's no brainer. He's bad without his middle ability, so every kill he gets extended duration, and he's just become an unstoppable monster. Impervious, he sucks without this card because he needs damage reduction. You could also use slams, I would imagine, but I don't know how Jackson would feel about that. I don't think you could play Chewie without Echoing Roar and Impervious. I think you would have to take the health card off. There's like these 2 cards just have to be put together, I feel. But hopefully Jackson can correct me on that. Alright, moving on to Vader. With Vader, I used to, when I first started the game, I used to watch like Tavik and Jabba, and I would see them use like Furious Resilience, bonus health, and There's No Escape. That was probably back when it one hit. The saber thrower used to one hit. I got a 180 with this with last gaps, so I always use this now for the extra choke damage. If it hits 2 people, it does more damage. Bonus health is kind of obvious. If you're playing a game mode like Galactic Assault, the more health, the better. Like that 150 health, like could mean life or death, depending on who's targeting you. Furious Resilience, it makes the middle ability even more broken. Like he gets damage reduction on his temporary health, so he can keep it longer. That's like a no-brainer. This is a really solid card. Should always be using this, I feel. I think this is a must with Vader. You don't really need the bonus health. I wouldn't say it's a must, but I would say it's a must personally. I wouldn't say this is a must. So Vader is one of the heroes where you can have like two potential cards that are up to you. I don't really think Surrounded by Fear. I mean, it's alright. You can do this card is bad because it's like with Vader you want to spam his middle ability, and this card makes it last longer, so you're not gonna be able to spam it that long. So you're gonna be at a damage penalty. There's not really a need for that. And deflection stamina, yeah, like Vader already has high stamina. There's no need for this. There's no need for that card at all. Intensified lightsaber throw, yes. I mean, you could use that. Palpatine, I don't really play this hero. I'm not really good with him. I use Lightning Reach, Surge of Lightning, and Show No Mercy. Uh, I think this would be a good alternative for uh this, but then you lose the chain lightning bouncing on people, like more like potential targets. So you might as well just use the two chain lightning cards because the dark aura you hardly use that anyway. I feel Han Solo's pretty simple. His best loadout I'd say in the game is all in, heavily modified blaster and air burst because you can throw the if you detonate the detonite charge in the air, it does extra damage, which is just naturally better. Big Bang is useless because there's really no reason to use this card at all. It's just not worth it. It has to sit on a surface for 5 seconds. And it increases the blast radius. There's no need for that. It's just a waste of a card. Precious Star Cut slot. This is a good card, but I don't really use it. You gotta be really good at hitting headshots for it to be good. Smuggler's Wits is pretty good. I wouldn't really use the sharpshooter cards. There's not really a need for that. I think it's kind of a bad ability, in my opinion. Iden, I don't really play Iden at all. I'm not really good with Iden. Iden players are worse than the bubonic plague. Like that's why I don't really play her. I would use alternative methods for Iden. You could use her alternative fire more frequently. Droid batteries for her decreased recharge time on her stun droid and her shield. And her cooled blaster builds up less heat. That's probably her best loadout. I don't know about her stun droid. I think her stun droid. I don't really know why you need it. I really need these. I think this is her best loadout. I wouldn't really use her pulse cannon. I don't know what this does. I didn't hit someone with the pulse cannon to reveal them for her and her allies. Yeah, there's not really a reason that you didn't use that because it's like if you're using her pulse cannon, you're probably gonna be in the back. You're not really gonna help. You're only gonna help your team, not yourself. Moving on to Kylo. This guy's not legit, so I probably won't talk about him long, but I would say his best loadout's closing in and the two pull cards. There's not really a reason to use Bloodlust because his frenzy already one hits all base troopers besides heavies. This is useless for GA. There's no because if you're going for a kill streak, you want to be away from the heroes. This is just useless. HEV, that's really good. This honestly is a pretty good card, but I wish they added it away in the game. Like it says it only lasts 6 seconds, but I wish there was a way you could tell how long you have left. Like the extra damage is pretty nice. I would say you probably take this. You probably could use that over Harsh Pull. Lando. I'm not really good Lando, but I've got a few kill streaks with him. But I would say is with Lando, you definitely have to run his hot and cold card. That's a must. Like he is so bad without the extra health. He sucks in general. So it's like you need his extra health. And for kill streaks, you gotta use his both of his sharp shot cards because it's like his best ability and his best way to get his health back. And you can just hitting those 5 people. It's just so good. Leia, I would say her loadout's pretty simple. I would for Blaster Heroes, when you can, you might as well take advantage of their regeneration cards. I use the High Spirit, her Rebel Heart, when she receives damage reduction for the ability, uh, and Relentless Firing. There's not really a point of the shield cards. This Laser Brain Star card's only really good for sitting in the back of the map, and that's like boring. So this star card doesn't work, I've heard. This one would be good, but the issue with Leia is you have to throw all of her thermal detonators for them to recharge it back, so it's kind of annoying. Luke, Luke is easily one of my favorite light side heroes. Luke's Lodo's kind of a no-brainer, but he can have. I would say Luke's one of those heroes too. Like what was his name? What did I say? It was like Boba, yeah. You need to like you have to have at least 2 cards on him, like for kill streaks. He needs to have Intensify on, and he needs to have Extended Push Reach. Because Extended Push Reach is easily one of the best abilities in the game. Because he can jump in the air and then push, and just one-shot every base trooper. And it's just so solid. It has no bugs, no glitches. I would say the third card would be up to you. If you don't, I don't know why you do this, but if you don't care about the push reach, you could take it off and do something else. I wouldn't take it off. Rush immunity is my personal preference of the third card because it's damage reduction. Because Luke only can regain 200, but he can regain his health really fast, and he only can regain 200, like I said. So he loses 50 from all the other heroes in the game, pretty much. All the other sabers. So he's at a disadvantage. So that 3% damage reduction, not I mean not my bad. That 50% damage reduction for 3 seconds is really clutch, even though it doesn't seem like a lot. And it makes you use the rush ability more if you combo with his repulse. If you don't want to use the rush immunity, I would say this is a really good third slot. I don't know how much damage this does. I think it one-shots base troopers. I don't really use it. I'm not so sure. I wouldn't. This card is just absolutely useless. There's no reason to use that if you're going for a kill streak. There's no reason to use this at all. Has increased area of effect. There's no reason for that. It's already good. It's already a good ability as is. This card is there's no reason to use this because why would you want to push somebody farther away from you? Like the only thing I see in that is a heavy player or a hero player, which preferably you want to kill the heavy. You want to push the hero away. This card is just absolutely useless. There's no reason to use that. Jedi Reflexes is kind of the same way. Like you get an extra rush, but I don't think it's worth it. Rush immunity is just so much better because his 2 rushes are already good enough. Jedi Fighter, he already has good stamina, so there's not really a reason for that. Moving on to Maul, I'm not really good Maul. But I talked to my friend Bat at BF2, and he suggested the best Maul loadout is lightsaber defense. So you receive less damage from blasters. The both the lightsaber throw cards, the range throw travels further, and the accelerated throw it deals bonus damage. I'm not really a good Maul player. This is a good card too. The Fool Me Once because he gets increased recharge rate. Like Maul has pretty good cards. He's pretty unique, but I'm not really good Maul. I just never really liked his low health pull. Ray, same way. I hate Ray. I don't really use Ray, but I say the best Ray loadout is Focus Sight for additional seconds. I want to use Farsight. There's not really a reason for that. It's already big enough, like the Insight. The Resilient Dash, that's like her best ability for multi-kills. She gets damage reduction while she uses it. She's really vulnerable while she uses it too, so you might as well use it. And her damage and strike. Her damage and strike can one hit. I would say Ray's one of those heroes. It's completely up to you, but I would say this is the best loadout. But you gotta have damage and strike if you're playing Galactic Assault, I feel. That's her best ability. Yoda, I'm not really good Yoda, but I've been testing him out recently, and I came to the conclusion I think this is the best loadout with Yoda. He gets a permanent 8 damage reduction overall, so that's just naturally better. People are chasing you. He gets an extra 60 health, more survivability capabilities for his unleash, or his like what present? No, it's a presence. My bad. And then he got size matters not. This card is broken. Like it's actually it gives you like 100 extra health than what it says it does. Like some of the damage it prevented like comes back to your health pool. This is just so good. I used to use I think it was this. Yeah, it was this. I hardly ever use Yoda's push, so I don't think his push cards are really that good. It's just a waste of a card. Extended duration, that's just bad because with Yoda, he's one of those survivable like Heidi heroes, so you want to try to spam it or have it like in your arsenal at all times, especially if you're playing Endor, go with like speeders and stuff. Finn, I'm not really good Finn, but I don't really play him because he ruins games and he's naturally evil. But I would say his best loadout, if you're going for a kill streak, I would say just run the 3 Deadeye cards on Finn. Yeah, I would say these are his best loadouts. Personally, I feel, because it's like if you're going for kills, you just focus on Deadeye. So you already have like infinite recharge with your health buff. If you're feeling lucky, you could use undercover team. I just don't know which one you take off. Like you lose range, like increased damage. You could take off increased damage for like that. I don't really. There's not really a reason to use the other big deal cards. He's already good enough. Phasma, I stuck with her, but her her base her best loadout easily is 2 middle ability cards. The safety first, not hard enough, and her laser wall durability. My friend of mine told me this card is glitched where it says you have to defeat 5 enemies, but you only have to defeat 4 enemies for it. But I still end up getting 5 kills, and then I have because then you have a permanent recharge on all your abilities. And Phasma is heavily reliant on her middle ability to even stay alive because she has like a little to no offensive besides her staff strikes and her droid. Her staff strikes just immediately recharge, which is nice, but she she's not really a good hero. They should have buffed her blaster damage. I wouldn't really use her blaster. Like maybe you could take off her take off the 60 extra health or maybe blaster inspection every time she kills an enemy. 2% gains permanent, 3%. Yeah, like you could probably use this. Her blaster overheats, not frequently, but it overheats a lot. Like you'll find when you play Phasma, you overheat her blaster a lot because of how much you have to shoot somebody. She shoots like peas at people. Moving on to Grievous, I don't really like Grievous that much anymore. I'm not really good with him. I just find myself every time I play him, I have the worst luck possible with being chased and harassed. I think the best loadout is with Grievous. Is the Beating Heart, the extra health regeneration, the Flesh is weak. The damage reduction is just so overpowered for this hero. And lineup weaklings is a no-brainer. I think like lineup weaklings, in my opinion, is a must for Grievous or Sith Train. But I don't really see a reason to use Sith Train when you can use lineup weaklings. You can just claw rush into a room and every base trooper just dies, and you get 20 health in stacks. So it's like you're just losing high killing potential with your best ability. And Grievous sucks too because his middle ability is unreliable, so you only really have two abilities on him. And he sucks because he doesn't have good deflection stamina, but he's easily one of the best in the game if played well. I'm just not a good Grievous. Moving on to my most favorite hero in the game, that my most easily my most played hero, my most favorite hero in the game. I like how they made him like easily. If I'm trying to sweat and have a really good game on any map, on like defense, Naboo, and Endor attack, I'm easily gonna want to pick Obi-Wan or Luke. Luke would be a second option, but I'm always my first pick in my mind. I want to pick Obi-Wan. I've play tested a lot of Obi-Wan loadouts. I've tried his health regeneration, the double push. I've tried his double push and forward. I've just came to the conclusion where you just gotta run this loadout right here. This is easily the best loadout. I feel it's better because there's times when you're playing Obi-Wan where the push lasts longer, it saves you more. Like he gets a permanent, well, I think it's 90 damage reduction in the push ability, where he can't be knocked down. He could be damaged from the force users, but he can't be knocked out of his push. And with the quick push, it's gotten me killed a few times. If I just take this off and I run quick push, it's gotten me killed a few times because I'm not used to it. You lose that extra damage wind up, but your push is faster. However, you don't have increased range and you lose damage reduction. But if people are roll spamming when you have this on, like they're either gonna avoid your push, like they're most of the time just gonna avoid your push because the dodge mechanic in this game is annoying. I personally don't think you should use safeguard at all or perfect defense at all. There's no reason to use it if you're talking about Galactic Assault. If you're trying to co-op grind, like just deflecting bots, like shots back at them, I don't. I you could. There's just no need for something like that. Like this is useless. There's no reason to use this at all. When I use the defensive rush, it hardly ever deflects people's shots back at them, so there's no reason for this. The mind trick cards, not really. I hardly ever use it. It's not. It's really useful. The mind trick is insanely useful, but there's not a real reason to use it. And that's I say the best LeBron loadout. If I'm going for a high kill streak, I think this is what if I ever get a 200 with this hero, I think this is the loadout I'm gonna do it with. I You could play Obi-Wan without the health, but I feel like it's made me lose a lot of streaks. I'm not used to it. Like just having more health regeneration, more survivability is always better than more kills. I feel because you can just do something. What if you do something stupid and you lose like 300 health with Obi-Wan? You're just gonna get it all back because you can regenerate 400. Like what if they do like 350 damage and you can't regen that 50 back? But with the card you can regen it all back. You just gotta recuperate. Anakin, well, it's F1. Oh, it's not Anakin, it's Dooku. Dooku, I've been messing around with Dooku recently, and I think I've came to a conclusion. I personally prefer this loadout. The Sith Control extra health regeneration, I would say, is a must with Dooku because he is not really made for big modes. Like he's made for dueling modes, HVV. He's not good at Galactic Assault or Supremacy. He just gets bullied. You have to get up close. He's easily the most skillful saber hero, I would say, to do good with. Like getting 100 with him, getting even an 80 with him is impressive. Because if people play right, you're just gonna get bullied and deleted. I would say his masterful duelist, increased damage. I was calculating it. I believe I could be wrong, but I believe if you have the critical strike and you use the duelist, that does what? I think it does an extra 25 damage, and that's like 45 damage. If you hit somebody in the back with the extra 50, you're doing like at least like 200 damage to people. So it's like if you, especially if you hit them in the back, that's a weak spot for everything in the game. So if you hit a hero that's targeting you in the back, you can just delete them with that massive critical strike. Especially when Duelist is active. I used to use blind spot. No, not blind spot. Last seconds. But I hardly use his lightning stun. I prioritize using his duelist because it's like easily his best ability. He has the fastest swing speed, what goes to 2 seconds. He can just dish out so much damage. I think in the right hands he can be good. He suffers a lot. But it's how he is in the lore, so they had to make him like that. Anakin, I don't think I'm a personally good Anakin player. I personally think Anakin's the only hero in the game that I personally, in my own opinion, there's not really a go-to Anakin loadout that I've found or what's preferred. This loadout right here has got me my 200 solo. Looking back on it, like nowadays with how bad the lobbies are, I don't think I would have used this. Like the attraction is really good, but you lose like extra heroic might range. But it doesn't matter because you're just gonna make it back because you can just one-shot everybody with this raw strength. His one-hit sabers are really good, but he loses a lot of stamina. But the thing with if you don't have it on, you can't one-shot people, and that's really crucial because this Anakin's all about killing people immediately. Because if you can't kill people immediately with Anakin, you're gonna get abused really quick. He's not what he was at launch. He's really weak. Tenacious nowadays, if I'm playing Anakin, seriously nowadays, with how bad the lobbies have been, I would use Tenacious for the extra 100 health, personally. Or if you don't care about the extra health and you just believe you're good, I would just use Control the Force. I would say that's his best loadout. I've been trying all of them recently because his push, not his push, his pull one hits people if you hit two people. It does 110 and it does like an extra 50. That that's a lot. That's a lot of damage for a pull. I don't think Anakin's my best hero. I personally don't really like Anakin, especially with his bugs. He just suffers from a lot of nuisance. BBA, I hardly ever play this hero. This hero's really broken. His cable spin is not okay. I would say the best loadout for BB is self repairs for the health generation. The droids they're easy targets for saber heroes, especially. They can defend themselves, but they're really easy targets. You always got to have that. They can't block, so you want to have whirlwind. Both the cable spin cards, yeah, you might as well just both damage and area effective cable spin are increased. Yeah, like that's just naturally better. When hitting multiple enemies, the cable spin cooldown ability is reduced. Like this is like a no-brainer. It's like his best ability. You want to have it on reduced cooldown. All you gotta do is hit 2 people. It's just really easy. People bunch up a lot. He has some other good cards, like I believe it was this one. Yeah, like this one's really good because his damage increase would uncover. His damage increase. Like I've gotten killed on many streaks just from a BB-8, just doing damage increase and people shooting me. This is a good card. This is alright. Faster cooldown support. Yeah, that's alright. I mean, he naturally just gives cooldown. Like, that's his, like, passive. BB9, I'm not really a good BB9 player. I have, like, a support loadout on him because I was trying to help my friend. I think his best loadout would be, yeah, Link Systems, yeah, with the extra damage on the shock pod. Uh, full reconstruction, faster for his middle ability. I know Jackson is a better BB9 than me, but I'm not really that good with this hero. I hardly ever use him. And that's it. That's all my collection update and what I personally think is the best loadouts for all the heroes in the game. And I hope that was helpful and maybe help people with the game.